Do you remember your first time on skates? Maybe something has left from that time.
Yeah, I definitely remember. Well, I don't remember the first time on skates. I remember it through pictures. I was only 2 years old when I was on skates, so for me, I remember loving hockey as a kid, and I always wore my dad's hockey helmet when I was 1.5 years old, and when I was 2, they put me on the ice, and that was the first time I got on skates.
When Russia hear your name, Jonathan Cheechoo, they all know that you came from reservation. Maybe you can tell us more about your native land.
Yeah, I grew up on a reservation, Moose Factory Island. It's way up in northern Canada. It's a small island. Grew up. I guess a lot of our ways when we grew up were hunting and fishing. There wasn't a lot of ways to ship in a lot of fresh meat, I guess. So we did a lot of hunting and fishing for our food, and that's how I grew up. We grew up doing that, and grew up playing hockey in the winters. That was two things basically that I did the most of as a kid, and it was a small community, and everybody was behind me the whole way, and I'm very grateful to have grown up there.
Were there any communications, or is it isolated island or anything?
It's an isolated island, but there's nowadays we have everything. We have phones, TVs, and the internet and everything. So a lot of people follow me throughout my career wherever I go. They're excited to see what I'm doing and see the different places that I get to travel.
Can you tell a little of the story about the people who helped you to become a hockey player? How come you became?
There was our community is very it was small, and everybody helps each other. And growing up, I was a pretty good hockey player, and I got to be about 16, 17, and they said my skating needed a lot of work, so people raised money to help me fund for a private skating tutor, and I was able to get my skating up to where it should be, and got drafted later that year to San Jose. So I'm very thankful for all they did for me.
Was it difficult to you to move to Metairie, to a big land?
Yeah, for me it was difficult. I think a lot of people that still live up there find it hard to leave home. Everybody's who is there. My grandparents, everybody that I know, most of them are still in Moose Factory, so it's a hard place to leave. But also I was able to do it because I had good support. My parents and the rest of the community, a lot of them came out to see me when I left home, and came and made small visits to see me so that I wasn't too lonely, I guess.
Do you remember your draft in NHL? Were you there? What are your memories, your feelings that day?
The draft for me, it was pretty amazing. I think we had the most people that have went to a draft came down from Moose Factory. I think we had over 120 people that came to see the draft, and they were most of them were either friends or family that came down they rented a couple buses to come down, and we were able to get them all tickets. So it was a pretty special day for me and for the whole community. And when you hear your name called, it's something that's pretty exciting. You worked your whole life to get to that point, and then to hear that name called, it kind of sends tingles. It's like you're in a different world, and I just wanted to concentrate on not falling when I had to walk down the stairs.
Russian hockey players who played in NHL say that there are some tricks on newcomers. Did you have any trick on you, maybe bad one?
For me, it wasn't too bad. I had a pretty good group that I think I went into, but they always try to play pranks on you, like try to get you to go out first on the ice skating and do a lap by yourself before they come out for when the teams get introduced before the game. So you're kind of skating around out there by yourself, and there's no one else coming. So This is just stuff like that for me. It was, it was stuff that you look back on and laugh, and it was, pretty fun to be a part of. And then you try to play a trick on, some of the younger kids that come in too.
And haven't you paid for the whole dinner, the whole team?
Yep, that's every rookie has to do it. It's a dinner. It's a good time for you to be a part of the team and to show that you made it. And then also, it's a good bonding experience as a team that you kind of know that's going to be the team moving forward, and it's fun dinner. It's worth paying for when you realize that you're playing in the NHL.
Your first seasons in the NHL league were pretty successful, and then something came wrong, maybe injuries or bad luck. How can you explain that?
I had some good seasons. I had a couple good seasons before the lockout, then a couple after, and I think injuries definitely took their toll. I had a lot of knee injuries and had hernia surgeries, and for me it kind of slowed me down a little bit probably, and I needed, like I said, skating tutor to get me into the NHL, so anything that slowed me down probably hurt me a little bit. And then I think I lost a little bit of confidence in scoring goals, and then after when I went down to the minors, I kind of started having fun again and started finding my goal scoring again. And then for me, there's just not a lot of opportunity to go back to the NHL, and I wanted to play in a high league, so that's why I chose the KHL.
In comparison to Alexander Daigle, who had some problems, non-hockey problems, and that's why his career went down, don't you think that maybe you had some problems that way?
Not really. I'd never had any real problems in my life. The main problem was just I got traded to Ottawa from San Jose, and I think I had some injuries going to that, and it slowed me down a little bit. And then I don't think I was given as much of a chance in Ottawa as I was in San Jose. So that kind of led to where I went out of the league. And then I think I've proven since then that I can still score and I can still play. It's just doing it in a different league now.
Talking then about the reservation, you moved to Big Land, and do you often go back to your native place?
I try to go back, at least once a summer. It's hard. We don't get much time off when we play here, so I usually get back in May, and then we have to come back at the start of July for training camp. So we only get a little bit of time. But I like to go up. I like to hunt, and spend a little bit of time hunting, and then I also like to go up and see the people that live up from my hometown.
People sometimes call NHL and AHL as a bus league because you can move between cities by bus. Were you impressed with the size of KHL league, big countries, big distance between cities?
Yeah, it's it's something you see on the map how big Russia is, but you don't really I think comprehend it till you get to come and travel here. And you're going all the way out to Vladivostok, which is quite the trip from wherever you are, even from here. So it's for me it was amazing to see how big the country is, how wide it is, and how many big cities there are here, and how many people really enjoy watching hockey.
What do you usually do while flying, especially long flights?
For me, while flying, a lot of times I'll sleep, get like an hour or so of sleep. But I like to read, so I do a lot of reading, and I have a handheld game I play, the PSP PlayStation game. So I do a little bit of that.
What do you usually read? What do you like to read?
Different stuff. For me, I like Stephen King, so I've read most of his books. It's for me, the way he describes it, I kind of can see it. It's almost like watching a movie when I read it. So I enjoy reading him, and there's a few other authors that I really like. Matthew Riley is one of them, and then I read a little bit of different autobiographies as well. So I have quite the range, but for me, it's good to read. It keeps your mind sharp, and I think that's good when you're traveling. You kind of tend to get your mind gets tired if you're sitting on a plane for 9 hours. So I think that it's a good thing to read.
The most beautiful city in Russia and the most scary one.
Most beautiful city, I'd have to say St. Petersburg. It's one of the ones. I was actually here in 2005, I believe it is, and getting to come back and see it's grown a lot, and it's always a nice city to come visit for us when we play. And then the scariest, it's hard. You're not really in places for a lot, too long a period. So to find the scariest for me was probably more so than it's just the plane landings. You get some wind sometimes, and it gets pretty windy. But other than that, most of the cities have been pretty nice, and it's been fun to see different parts of Russia.
So you've been all over Russia, and maybe some place remind you of your native place.
I mean, there's a few cities that remind you. I mean, out in Siberia, it gets cold like where we are, so that's probably the closest you'll get, like temperature-wise, and like the tree growth and stuff like that is pretty similar to where I live.
Many foreign people think that there are bears walking down the streets in Russia and such a stuff. What did you know about Russia before coming here?
About Russia, I didn't know all that much. I guess I'd come before and seen, and I knew it's a normal city like anywhere else, normal country like anywhere else, But I guess I never really had any misconceptions, because people think where I'm from, moose walk down the streets too. So I kind of know how it is to not judge a place before you see it, and Russia's been fun. It's been going to Moscow. The traffic gets pretty crazy, but it's fun to see, and a lot of the different places have been fun.
It is considered that the Russian people don't smile too often. Do you agree?
You kind of notice a little bit. There, not a lot of Russian people. I was in Belarus, and it's kind of similar there. Not a lot of the people smile, and then every once in a while you'll catch somebody. I had a little boy, so you catch somebody smiling and giving him waves, and it's fun to see. But I think you see maybe a little less people smiling.
Getting back again to your native place. In Russia, it is considered that every Indian should have a nickname, maybe pray for you or something. Did you have any?
I never had a nickname growing up, but I knew a lot of people from different communities out in Western Canada that have a lot more nicknames. Where I grew up, it wasn't really a big thing for us, but I know out in Western Canada, it's pretty big. I know one guy was Dodging Horse. there's a few different names that that are more out Western Canada, I think, than where I'm from.
Russian cuisine. Have you tried Russian cuisine?
Yeah, that's Russian cuisine. It's pretty good. The borscht is unreal, and a lot of the other foods, it's pretty similar to what we eat at home. A lot of it's like has a meat and potatoes, so it's pretty good. I really enjoyed it.
Have you ever celebrated New Year Russian style?
I haven't gotten the chance to do that. We've usually been in and about, usually days off for us, and we just usually relax at home. But I've heard that you can get pretty wild.
Have you heard anything about the Old New Year holiday?
The Old New Year?
Yes.
I haven't heard about that one. That'd be interesting to learn about. I'll have to ask somebody.
You should ask your partners and maybe Russian
I will.
friends.
I will for sure.
Do you learn Russian language? Do you know anything? Can you say something?
I know a few things, I guess. Not a lot. It's hard. I know how to count to 10. You know, there are little few things like, you know, spasibo obviously, but just words here and there that I know that I've picked up. Здравствуйте. You know, a few things that you pick up, but nothing. I can't speak it. You know, it's hard for me to understand it, but you know, I try my hardest.
Russian swear words, dirty words.
I don't know any of those. A few of those. I can't say them on camera, but you know, I've you know, definitely heard a lot of those words during the games and you know, at the arena. So you know, those are things that I think in hockey you pick those up pretty fast.
The program is called Без Прокатов. It means something like play straight to the body, like play tough. Maybe you have some thoughts about this in your life, like maybe you can bring it to your life.
For play tough?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it definitely was tough growing up for me. You know, I had to leave home when I was 14. I know a lot of people do that when they're playing hockey, so you know, it's tough to leave your parents at that age. You know, it's tough to move to a big city from a small city. You know, those are things I think that, you know, help me grow as a person and get stronger as a person.
And the last thing we would like to ask you to say in Russian: "Играй без прокатов, живи без прокатов." To the camera.
Yeah.
Играй без прокатов.
Играй без прокатов.
Живи без прокатов.
Живи без
Прокатов.
без прокатов.